us. I will tell you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today if it wasn't for our mother and our father, right, who encouraged us and said, hey, even though you messed up, we still got you. So I think that's important. It kind of drives us to how we've been able to be in business with ourselves today.
Awesome. Marquis, the winner, the first place winner. Tell me your story. Tell me what made you get in entrepreneurship. What was that thing for you?
I think he might be frozen.
Frozen?
He's frozen on us.
Let's go to Desmond.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate you guys. And I know we're gonna say that all night, but y'all don't know, man. This community is love. But for me, everything is family driven, just like Ashton. My dad was an entrepreneur and gave me that exposure when I was growing up, because I was a track and field athlete, so I would travel and my dad would travel with me. And I was just like, yo, you got a job, bro. Like, how are you even out here? And so I saw the ability to balance stuff. And so that was encouraging. And then as I grew older, I learned my granddad was an entrepreneur as well. And so
in the blood. It's in the blood. Yeah.
But it wasn't by choice. It was by circumstance. And so I'm first generation American. My family's from Jamaica. And so, just honestly, that whole legacy that I come from kind of instilled into like who I am now. And then honestly, when I was working corporate, graduated from Winston-Salem State, worked corporate, and I just knew it wasn't my fit, man. So I started a few companies just like Ashton. Like I had a fintech application that I started. I had a logistics company that we started. And then it got to the point to where I knew that I needed to be full-time in order to take any concept to that next level. And literally, I remember when I was telling the VPs that hired me that, I was going to take this journey and go travel, see the world, and kind of start this company. They were just like, nah, you're going to be right back here, and I was just like, man, I got something to prove. So it was like that motivation. And just, from what I saw with my family, it was just like, yo, I think you have what it takes to kind of get to that next level. And I just started mentoring with, or being a mentee for individuals in the tech space and just learning from them. And, that's kind of how I made it to this point.
Nice. Marquis, how about you? Why and how did your entrepreneurship journey begin?
For sure. So I think, I'm from New York. I think New York has like a hustle. Somehow money flows, money goes. I remember being 9, 10 years old outside selling waters in the summer when it's hot. So I think when my entrepreneurship journey was definitely by circumstance. Single mother raising me. You want the new shoes in high school. You want the Vasquez jacket. I might be aging myself a little bit, but these were the things that I certainly wanted. So just doing things that were unorthodox to get it, whether selling candy at school or like selling waters in the summer. Had a chance to do corporate or healthcare in the hospital settings, and it just wasn't a fit. A lot of microaggressions, not a lot of people who look like us. So I knew for the autonomy and the independence that I wanted, I really had to, step into this entrepreneurship journey. One book that changed my life, Cash Flow Quadrant. Same guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, but just understanding like employee, small business owner, investor. So that really changed the framework of how I saw business.
Okay, cool. So it seems like it's a common theme, right? Like it was either something you saw coming up, or it was part of your family, or it's in your blood, right? And that kind of goes in line with a lot of what I believe, right? Like personally, right? And not everyone believes that you're born an entrepreneur, right? Like some believe that you can become an entrepreneur, but that tenacity and that ability to overcome, right? Like that has to be there already. You can't teach that, and you can't webinar that, to instill it in someone, right? So I think for me, my journey began when I wanted my freedom, right? I wanted more control of my time, right? And so, thus you begin that journey. How do I control my hours each day? And just kind of walk down one ladder and walk up the other ladder, right? So I want to ask you guys a different question, and maybe we can go in a different order, right? Dr. Norton, Desmond, and then Ashton. What would you say has been the single most memorable hurdle that you've overcame?
So I like what you said about resilience, you know, that ability to overcome adversities. I think as a culture, right, we've always done it. I think for me, the biggest hurdle, so this is going to be very specific to my business, but insurance panels and credentialing and, you know, expected payments, and it's a whole different model. To give you long story short, we were in operations, MPIs, so some insurance jargon. We were in operation, we were credentialing to certain insurance companies, but not the correct way. So when it came time for payments on the long end, that had to have been one of the biggest and really most discouraging events that I had when it comes to entrepreneurship. It was early when we started the business, you know, made me question, hey, am I in the right thing? How can I, you know, miss these small details? But, you know, like you said, the ability to overcome that tenacity, you know, holding your chin up, learning from your mistakes. One thing I want to say with entrepreneurship, no one hits it out the park on the first strike, the first bat. So it's just about continuing. When no one else believes, you have to believe. You have to have vision, you know, that resilience. But for me, it was definitely the discrepancies with the insurance companies, for sure.
Nice. How about you, Desmond?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. And so I think honestly, the biggest hurdle was building a product company in this space, right? So we had to get manufacturers, we had to do all these different things. And to give you context, me and my co-founder Aubrey, we were in mainland China, and you guys know the story when, you know, we ran into this inconvenience and we were just like, yo, there has to be a better way to charge your cell phone. Like, and so we went back, we were just sketching out ideas, building out models and stuff like that. But we hadn't been exposed growing up to people that look like us, coming from our communities that had built a technology company like this in the product space. So for us, everything was new, you know? And so like coming back to America, having to deal with international manufacturers, right? International partners, and having to, you know, negotiate out there. I mean, some of those things that honestly, everything is just God, to be honest. Like, it ain't even us sometimes. Like, sometimes I look back and I'm just like, me and my co-founder, we were 28. We went out there, landed this big old contract of exclusivity. And like, I don't know how still, you know, but it's just like the tenacity. It's like learning, finding people that may not look like you, but are in similar spaces, and just figuring it out as you go. And then using our business sense. Like, I love business, so I understand how to make a dollar, you know what I'm saying? And like how to make things make sense. So a lot of it was like learning on the go, but I think the biggest hurdle has been building a product company with an international manufacturer. And it's something that, as we're transitioning into this new light of like being one of those, you know, Black entrepreneurs that have done it, man, I'm looking back at other entrepreneurs and people that, you know, want to get into this space. I'm like, yo, this is what you need to know. This is what I wish I knew, you know? And so like, that's a part of this journey in this game as well. Like, we go through and get beat up so that other people could have a, you know, a better lane as they matriculate.
Yeah, and for me, what I would say is being able to see that when one door closes, just find a bigger door to go through. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles that I would say my brother and myself, we often go through, right? Because I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that don't want us to succeed, right? They see other people are doing it in a similar way, or you weren't the first one to do it, but why does that matter? I mean, if that were the case, then there wouldn't be multiple car manufacturers, right? There wouldn't be multiple, you know, companies that create batteries, right? Or ticketing platforms. And so for us, is seeing, you know, at the end of the day, if we're destined to do something, and I agree with Desmond, it's all about God. I think first and foremost, I am thankful and grateful for the blessings that God has bestowed upon us. I think when you understand and you humble yourself and understand that there's a greater purpose and how I fit into that, right? You start to acknowledge that this is not just me. I mean, I'm like an individual where, you know, I've been put on a track, right, on this path, and I'm trying to fulfill my full purpose. So for us, is understanding that you're going to have people that are in the cheap seats, individuals that are trying to say things to you that aren't in the court with you, shooting in the gym. And that is, I couldn't be more honest about that. People that have no idea about what you do, trying to tell you that you shouldn't be doing it. And so for us, it's our ability to see that there is a greater purpose for us and that we're destined to live in our purpose to fulfill our mission. And that's why we wake up every single day working on Ticket Falcon and some of the other things that we're into, just because that's what we're built to do. Entrepreneurs don't give up. Entrepreneurs pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They have the grit and the tenacity to keep going. And I think the last example I'll tell you is COVID-19. When it came to events, all events on our platforms were canceled. Our revenue was zero. Flat out zero. And I said to my brother, no, this is not the end of us. COVID's not going to stop us. And we pivoted and we started to get into virtual events and helping our organizers to be able to still stay relevant during COVID. And that's one of the biggest hurdles we overcame thus far. But I'll tell you, there'll be plenty more. And I just want to say for the entrepreneurs out there, don't give up. If you believe in yourself, you have others that also believe in you, just keep going. You'll be able to reach your goals and achieve your dreams as you keep going on your journey.
Nice. So the commonality amongst everybody's answer was, again, the tenacity, right? Like you're gonna have hurdles. You're gonna run into things that many people would stop at, and oftentimes mentally you have to ask yourself, because I've even had to ask myself several times, like, am I supposed to be doing this? Because one of the startups that I'm involved in, me and my co-founder, literally once a year, we get on the phone and we're like, man, you ready to get us up, or you ready to not do it? Or the next day, a major news network contacts us, or someone from a media outlet says, hey, I have a contract for you, right? And to you guys' point is oftentimes that's nothing but the higher power directing you in your purpose, right? And so I want to ask one more question, and then we got Mr. King back with us. He didn't make me any tea. So tell me you guys' favorite quote and why, right? Like, but you can't give me any of the cliche ones, like none of the ones you would have on a t-shirt, right? Like, give me one that more so defines who you are and how you move. Like, what's your favorite quote?
Gotcha. I think I'm going ahead first. I got two. So one that I always use when I'm talking to like entrepreneurs that are trying to like come through, right? Like we know it all, right? But it's like, you are enough, yo. You know, especially Black entrepreneurs that just get beat up in this space, in the technology space, and like you see the VC numbers of like, we don't even get access to stuff, resources. And it's just like a lot of the successful entrepreneurs that come about, it's just because they believe in themselves. They use their resources, they use the cards that are dealt, and they literally make the best of it, you know? And so I think that's one thing that just motivates me. And then the next thing is, and I just kind of live by this, is like, give more to others than you expect to receive, and you'll never be without. And I feel like I live, like, it's funny because like my team always talks about how like, man, I'm a networking junkie, and like opportunities always come about because I'm giving more to others, like granted, you don't want people to abuse you, you know what I'm saying, and take advantage of you. But I'm kind of intentional on when I give energy and try to empower others. And just like sometimes I'll be tired and I'll be like, nah, yo, you need this. So I'm gonna bend over backwards and give you an introduction or help you with this business model canvas or whatever it is. And I feel like in life, when I need opportunities or I need doors open, it's because I'm giving to others, and then those doors open up. So I would just encourage anybody in this space, if you're trying to figure out why, things aren't happening, is because you're not giving enough to other people.
Desmond, you are 100% right. And it's funny because I met you at my event that I did 2 years ago, and you were all to what we're doing. So I find that to be so true. But yeah, that's all I wanted to jump in here and say.
Love, bro. Love.
Yeah, thank you.
I could go next. So I have two quotes. As you guys know, I'm a therapist, so I'll start with my business quote, and then I'll go to my therapy quote. On my business quote, always add value, right? So similar to what Desmond was saying, being intentional as far as where he's giving his energy. One philosophy I always try to abide by, always add value, whether that's support, whether that's connecting you with a resource, whether that's teaching you a mistake that I learned from, but always try to add value. I think that is so important when it comes to business, because when you add value to people, you don't know how you'll be, how or if you'll be paid back, but you know that you'll be assisting that other person. Another quote, so this is more biblical. He without sin cast the first stone. You know, in therapy, I hear a lot of stories. We're trained not to judge, but for me, it's that mindset of always having understanding, always having empathy when people are dealing with certain things. So on the business side, always add value. On the life, personal framework, he without sin cast the first stone. So those are my two quotes.
Nice, nice.
And for me, I would say one that my mom shared with us and my brother. Now we were 15 years old and we started our shoe company. And our shoe company, it was like a spaceship. It took off. And one thing she put on the wall that was in our office at the time was, some people dream of success while others wake up and work hard at it. And every time we were in our office after school or before school, right, we would look at that and realize that we have to wake up and work hard at it every single day in order for this to be where we want it to be. So that's something that I still live by today, because I think that, you have to be able to put in the work to get to where you want to go. The second thing, and I think it holds so true, is that networking is one letter away from not working. I often have to pause on that because people say, hold on, bro, say that one more time. Networking is one letter away from not working. And the key with that, really quickly, and I'll stay on this for about 10, 15 more seconds, is that you have to network when you don't need it. I'm a connector. If you look at and study networking, you have different types of people that are involved with networking. But for me, I'm a connector. I'm meeting as many people as I can, and I get sincere joy out of connecting folks. Like I look at this call that we're on right now, right? The great thing about it is that you have 3 or 4, maybe, or 5 entrepreneurs, Black male entrepreneurs, right? That work. We should be working with each other, even though we're in different sectors, right? I know that Desmond is got the battery game on lock. Dr. Norton has the therapy game on lock, and my brother and I have the ticket game on lock. But at the end of the day, we should be finding ways to harmonize and grow with one another. Because one thing that I'll tell you, if you look at other communities, they do it a lot better than we do. And I think what Black Men Ventures is doing is that you're starting a new direction for us, right? That it is okay to work together, and let's harmonize and get this thing going.
Nice, nice. So if anybody just joined us, we're talking to the 3 winners of our inaugural Black Founders Pitch competition by Black Men Ventures, talking to these gentlemen about their journeys, their businesses, their whys, their hows, and just anything else that they deem important that others may want to know. I did want to touch on something that Desmond said. Well, let me give my 2 quotes. I think I have 2, right? I think I said 1, but y'all gave 2. I got to give 2, right? One of them is, you'll go further, faster, helping others. And that goes back to what Desmond said, right? If you just karma, the universe, energy, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, I think you should do something big or small every day, at least once a day, to help someone else, right? Because you never know the impact of it, right? And the second one would be, you can do well while doing good, right? In our community, a lot of us don't understand 2 things. One is that if you historically look at a lot of wealthy individuals, they were wealthy through philanthropic acts, right? And then the other thing is that you can actually give back and chase cash or money or freedom or fame or growth or whatever you're chasing, right? It's okay to do both. You don't have to not try to get money because you're philanthropic or nonprofit or give back, right? Like, there's usually this misunderstanding that you got to do one or the other in our community, but you can do both simultaneously, right? So my next question, how did you all, because all of you mentioned several startups that you had prior to the one you have now. And a thing that I stand on is not falling in love with a startup. If you study anyone who has got funding, has got a Series A round, has had an exit, right, has 10x their company, it probably was the 5th or 6th or 10th thing that they did, right? So how did you all not fall in love with your earlier things and realize, okay, I got to pivot, but I'm going to pick up all these skill sets and take them with me to the next thing, right? Ashton, let's hear from you first on this one.
Yeah, I think that is a fantastic question because I see so many entrepreneurs that just say it was my first company, I have to stick with it, but it's not doing well. In fact, you're losing money. And so for us, some companies you have that you've created are only here for a season, and you have to be able to accept it. The moment you do is the moment you'll start to accelerate. So for us, we've worked on businesses since we were, at least online businesses since we were about 13 years old. And some of those aren't in existence except for 24/7 mixtapes, because we found an opportunity to help artists to promote their music digitally online. But outside of that, these companies are no longer in existence. And what we've learned is we've taken the mistakes that we made and have tried everything that we can not to repeat them again going into the future. And we applied our learnings to the next company. If that didn't work out, then we move on until we landed on something that's like, wow, there's a need for this. When you have repeat customers, that tells you something about your business. And so we started to hone in on the company that was giving us the best opportunity to make a difference. And at this point in time, that's 24/7 mixtapes as well as Ticket Falcon. So those are the two companies that we're primarily running. Another one that I'll mention is Equity Twins. A lot of people are like, well, you have a lot of companies. Well, Equity Twins technically owns Ticket Falcon, and then 24/7 Mixtapes is a separate company. But those are the three things that are in our pot right now because we figured out a way how to automate things. All the other ones, they're gone because we had to be able to move on and stop burning cash on things that weren't making the difference and adding value to what we were wanting to do.
Nice. Dr. Norton.
All right, here we go. So I think I always think of the cash flow quadrant, right? So we always want to try to get to that I section. So you have employee, you have small business, you have business, and you ultimately have investor. And I think as entrepreneurs, we start this business because we're very passionate about these things. So it's easy to fall in love with ideas. A mentor told me very early, what's the end game? Is the end game to sell the company? Is the end, what exactly is the end game? Because is the end game to sell the company, to pass it down? What is it? Because you need to, when you start, you need to be thinking about the end in mind. So I think that it's understanding that asset to tangible is important and understanding how to leverage assets. So a business is an asset, right? So I think that when you really have it in that framework, it's easy to detach from it a bit. But for me, it's always looking at that. I'm trying to move into that I quadrant and the whole cash flow quadrant thing. So you utilizing businesses, leveraging them, but ultimately trying to get to that investor section of it.
Nice.
Yeah, man, this is it's a tough thing, man, to be honest. We all been through it, but I feel like as an entrepreneur, you just gotta be real with the writing on the wall. Like sometimes a lot of us just really see it, but we're just so, hey, this is our baby. But it's just like, what does the fact say? Like I've been in several companies where it was team dynamics, it was not making any money, and we're just like in the red to where like we can't even come out. So the writing on the wall was, yo, you want to be in debt for another few years, and there's different variables that you hear, but I think it's just, you got to be real with yourself. And honestly, you talk about skill sets that I've learned, I do believe that nothing is really a failure, but if you were intentional on pulling stuff away from it. So like, I feel like all the startups I did definitely prepared me for battery exchange. Like we wouldn't be where we are, or I wouldn't be where I am in this position or, leading the company if I didn't go through those. It's because I was also intentional on like, yo, I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna just work on this. This is what was the mover in this startup. Like, let me figure out how I could do this in another light with another team or whatever it may be. But I think it just comes down to another thing is making sure you got mentors. Like you need people, advisors and mentors that are gonna give you the real. Yo, I had a few
right,
that told me like, yo, bro, this ain't gonna work. Like you not making no money and it don't look like you gonna be making no money for a while, and it's just like, yo, you got a family, you got this and stuff. It's just like different variables. So I think out of all of those different things, you just gotta look at the writing on the wall and just either dump it and try something new. As entrepreneurs, we're always solving problems. So I'm pretty sure there's another idea that you can figure out and be passionate about that.
Right. I mean, to just to cut in really quick, Ashton, to your point, like even when I had multiple startups and I'm talking to people who had went through what I went through and kind of dwindled them down, and now they have one that's scaling, right? It's like there's always this thing tugging at you where you know which one you need to do, right? And it always takes a while before you mentally meet in the middle with, okay, which one do I want to do, right? Like the numbers or your metrics or engagement or God or whoever, like time will show you need to leave these other ones over here where they at, right? And go forward with this one, right? So that is kind of just in addition to what you said. Yeah. So Ashton, did you answer that question, or did I think?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Just wanted to make sure we heard everybody's viewpoint. So now I want to change things up a little bit, right? This is the first inaugural Black Men Ventures cohort. Again, thank you all, for entrusting us with your idea, right? Because they're personal. It's your passion, right? It's all to help people, right? You all believe in it. So just thank you for allowing us to bring it to the world, right? So to that point, right? What did you learn about yourself and your business during this process? We go with Desmond first this time.
So he was going to the dot. You know what? So I'm gonna take it a step back because even talking about how all of this was orchestrated, and I hope I'm not answering something that we're gonna be asked later on, but I felt like I started to realize, like, one, I'm motivated by competition, to be honest. So like I'll take it back to y'all remember that first pitch that we had to do to even get in to the final pitch. It was really in that space that I was like, yo, I gotta come with it, and it was just like, sometimes I feel like, we get comfortable in the season or the space that we may be in and just feel like, yo, we good, we got it or whatever. But I felt like I needed that energy. And what motivated me the most was like, everybody looked like me. Everybody came from the spaces that I came from. So it was just like to see an amazing group of Black men that are driven just as much as me. It was cats that had, crazy revenue and just different things. And so that was motivating. So I was just like, yo, this pitch got to be tight, or, like your angle or whatever it is. So I feel like that's what I kind of learned, just to continue to dig deep and not be complacent and not be comfortable at all. And I feel like just at times where you're in the business too much or you're raising, whatever it may be, you kind of get distracted. So I appreciate the encouragement and the motivation by my fellow cohort.
Nice. Ashton, how about yourself?
Yeah, for me, I just learned that, I think this is this is not the first one that I've been a part of that was all Black men, but this is the first one where I've been a part of, a cohort of Black men from across the country, right? And I think that's one, an outstanding thing, but two, just the level of support. Right. When you're isolated and, COVID has isolated many of us. Right. But the great thing about my business, in this case, Ticket Falcon, is that anyone can use it across the globe. Right. And so, we've been operating out of Chicago, but to see that there are so many other like-minded Black men who are just encouraging, and just supportive. Right. Like, hey, this is a great idea. I want to help out as best as I can. And one of the things that I learned, and this is going to be a little bit, funny in a way, but it's kind of true. These brothers got some folks to vote for them. Okay, that's what I'm gonna throw that out there, right? And so it's, if you want to look at this, every day I was looking on there, about Desmond. I was like, man, how many comments does he have? And I'm like, man, but the last day, I don't know how this happened, but Dr. Norton, out of nowhere, I was like, whoa. But that's the power of it, right? And I'm joking, because at the end of the day, to me, we're all winners, right? And I'm just happy to have these brothers in my network. But at the end of the day, what I'm excited about is us growing together and helping each other. And I'm going to say this last point is, like, if we're having an event, there's no reason why Battery Exchange shouldn't be in the building, right? And if we're having an event as well as therapy related, there's no reason why Dr. Norton should not be in the building. I think that's the power of the network that we built.
Nice.
Iron sharpens iron. The cohort from the initial meet and greet, I said, all right, these brothers are serious. So these are Black men who are astute, who are really about their business. You know, I'm pretty competitive as well. I think one of the biggest things really relying on the community, right? So with this, we had to crowdfund, rely on the community. I've done some things with TikTok, but this has been one of my most intentional. Hey, please vote for me. We're doing these things. So this the strategy on one side. It definitely encouraged me and the team strategizing. How can we get these votes, right? So I saw it in 4 quarters, right? First quarter, we're going to try this. Second quarter, try this. Third quarter, we're going to try this. I was watching Desmond's comments as well. You know, everyone's building. I'm like, all right, fourth quarter, we got to try every single thing that we can exactly that we can do. But also, Ashton, I want to, you know, you started it off, right? So I think that I had some nerves. I said, all right, let me get it together because my man just killed it, right? He hit it out the park. So on one side, it's like being in the gym working out with someone, right? You're not gonna if they're doing all these exercises, you're not gonna go over there and take a break. So I appreciate you, brothers, for the push. This has been my first event with all Black male founders. So like I said, iron sharpens iron. For me, it really helped me realize the impact of the community, the importance of strategizing with the team, but also connected with these brothers. So I just appreciate Black Men Ventures for the opportunity.
Nice. So that's funny you said you all were like checking for each other's comments, right? Like that's community, right? Like even if you are checking to see if you in first or second place now or you're gonna win or whatever, right? You're still checking for what's going on with his business, right? So it's just a byproduct, right, of you all working together, like you said. So that's amazing. My next to last question, right, and then after that we'll have you all, you know, let everyone know where they can find you all or you know how they can help you all. My next question is, Marquis, you can go first with this. What do you all have coming up next, right? What's hot for you? What should I be looking out for?
Yeah, so Norton Therapeutic Solutions, first step, we're going to be expanding to Maryland and DC. Next thing, we're trying to put together a product that's using artificial intelligence for crisis counseling. We're really early in the stages trying to collaborate with different agencies. Our community needs it, right? We need a lot of times with research, you know, the research isn't done by people who look like us or speak like us or go through some of the same issues that we're going through. So first step is going to be expanding services. And the second step is going to be creating that product using artificial intelligence for crisis counseling.
Nice. How about you, Ashton?
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's always taking what we've done to the next level, right? The great thing about Ticket Falcon is that we have event organizers that span all over the world. And at the end of the day, they're giving us such great feedback. So for us, is making sure that we are more than recovery ready, right? One of the things that I said earlier is that when events were canceled across the globe because of COVID-19, we had to pivot. Well, we pivoted and I think it's worked out, but we're excited to get back to in-person events and to do it in a safe and secure way. So I think that's one of the latest and greatest things for us is how do we merge the two together? So what you'll see from us is some updated and newer technology, right, that we've created to merge the two together to get people back out there because people are yearning to be with one another. That human connection is just something that's so unique. And virtual, don't get me wrong, it's a wonderful thing. But I can tell you the folks that we've interacted with, like we cannot wait to get back in person. We're going to help enable them. So I'd say watch out for that because it's coming from us.
Nice. I would agree with you. People are ready to get back out there. I don't even know what out there means, but they ready to do it. Yep. Desmond, how about you?
Yeah, and getting out there is music to my ears. You know, honestly, I was right. 2019 when we started this thing, you know, we event industry up along the East Coast, Miami, New York, DC, North Carolina, everywhere. And then when it shut down, we literally spent all of last year building a product, building the mobile application, building a back-end platform to prepare for this time. So for us, it's growth, yo. It's growth. It's having our kiosk machines in our first market, which is Charlotte, RDU. My co-founder's out of DC, so we'll be having some placements up there as well. And then just continue to grow. And then the other aspect, and you know, Ashton is we in this together, like events. that's starting to open back up. A bunch of events are starting to hit us up and looking at later summer, later fall. Can we have our kiosks? Yeah, you can, and so that's what's next for us. It's just real growth, user engagement, just growing our B2B platform and just continuing, as Dr. Norton said, adding value to our customers. So that's what's next for us. And then I guess the next thing, my bad, is we've been intentional on connecting with HBCUs, and we got a really, really cool HBCU internship program. We're starting it this summer, and really looking, even as this conversation started, to build up the future entrepreneurs of tomorrow with real hands-on, tangible work in our product and IoT space. So that's something that we're doing, and we're launching it with our university, Winston-Salem State again. And I see you, Torrence. I guess you went to A&T. We got an intern from there as well. So. I see it, bro. I see it.
But no, y'all right down the street from us, right? We're cousins. So I'm real heavy in the HBCU space. We definitely need to rap about that offline. So where can you all be found at? Right, websites, Instagrams, Twitter hashtags, right? How can our listeners and viewers follow you all, buy your products, use your applications, all of that good stuff? We just go in order. We can start with Ashton.
Yeah, absolutely. Ticketfalcon.com. That's ticketfalcon.com, and it's at TicketFalcon on all platforms. Again, Ticket Falcon is an online event management and ticketing platform that provides instant payouts to our event organizers for their online, virtual, in-person, or hybrid events. What I'll tell you is the best way to help us is to help us spread the news and awareness of our product. If you throw events yourself, consider using our platform. Reach out to us. We'll give you a demo, show you what we can do. Or if you know somebody that does, just spread the news, because that's the best way that you can help us to grow our platform and let more people know about a Black-owned ticketing platform that puts the event organizer and attendee first.
Nice. Desmond.
Okay. My bad. You're right. It does go that way. But so I'll just do a brief, what we do is we're a rental platform providing on-demand portable batteries and a better way for businesses to interact and engage with their customers that are coming through. So in essence, just like the scooters or the bikes that you see in your communities, that's what we provide within portable batteries. For us, as social media wise, battery exchange, and people always mess up the spelling, so you see it right there. It's an XCHANGE, and then there's an underscore. That's Twitter, that's Facebook, that's IG, and then mine is Worldwide Wigs, same underscore as well. And then our website is batteryexchange.co. What we're looking for, and I kind of mentioned and alluded to it a little bit, but especially on a national level, events that are coming into the mix, if you want to, continue to add or create the overall experience where individuals are just convened at your events, that's why you seek us out. And so anybody that's interested, reach out via, website, social media. We're pretty active on there as well. And that's kind of what we're doing.
Nice.
Awesome. I'll give the overview as well. So Norton Therapeutic Solutions, we're a culturally competent mental health agency currently servicing all of Virginia. We'll be expanding to DC and Maryland. Dr. Norton Therapy on all socials, so TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We do a lot on Instagram and TikTok. One way that people can help, always like, comment, share. We always try to change up the topics. This week we're talking about panic attacks. So, different things that people are going through, trying to make sure that we're reaching out to the community. Website is nortontherapeutic.solutions.com or nortontherapy.com forward. So whichever works. But the way the community can help, on social media, sharing, liking, following, engagement. Social media has been such an amazing benefit for the company. So opportunities, marketing, clients. So definitely tap it in on those platforms, which is Dr. Norton Therapy.
Nice. All right. Well, again, thank you, brothers, for joining Black Men Ventures tonight. Ticket Falcon, Battery Exchange, and Norton Therapeutic Solutions. They are our first 3 winners for our inaugural Black Founders Pitch competition. So if you could give them a digital hand clap in the comments, we would appreciate it. And yes, so thank you all again, and join us back here again in 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we will be having our Black Men Founders Fireside Chat, where we'll speak with amazing founders in our community and outside of our community. So thank you again, brothers. Enjoy your night.
Thank you.